Different types of food chains based on trophic levels. So here we have classified food chains based on the number of trophic levels they have. A food chain basically consists of three steps or three trophic levels: producers, primary consumers, and secondary consumers. Producers are plants, primary consumers are herbivores, and secondary consumers are carnivores. But a few food chain may have 2, 3, 4, or even 5 steps, and each step represents a trophic level. Hence we can have different types of food chains having different number of trophic levels. These chains are shown in the following figure. So in this image we can observe there are four types of food chains here, that is A, B, C and D. In food chain A we have five trophic level, that is producer, primary consumer, secondary consumers, tertiary consumer and quaternary consumer or top consumers. So here we can observe that five trophic levels are present. Whereas in food chain B and C, we can see that only three trophic levels are present. Here also, three trophic levels are present. In food chain D, we can see that four trophic levels are present: producer, primary consumer, secondary consumer, and the tertiary consumer. Here is a two-step food chain consisting of producer and herbivore. Producer in this case is vegetation and herbivore is elephant. Then we have three-step food chain consisting of producer, primary consumer and secondary consumer, making it three trophic level. Producer is grass, primary consumer is deer, herbivore, secondary consumer is lion, carnivore. Then we have four-step food chain consisting of producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers and tertiary consumer. Producer in this case is grass, insect herbivore is primary consumer. In secondary consumer we have insectivorous bird and frog which is carnivore. Tertiary consumer is hawk or snake which is again a carnivore. The next food chain that we have is five-step food chain, which consists of producer, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer and quaternary consumer. Producer in this case is grass, primary consumer is insect, herbivore, secondary consumer is frog, a carnivore, tertiary consumer is snake, again a carnivore, and quaternary consumer is peacock or hawk, which is the topmost carnivore. Most of the food chain may have three or four steps because more than four consumer in food chain is unusual, because beyond the third consumer there is very little energy left that could be transferred to the next trophic level, and hence we see maximum food chains have three or four trophic levels. When any organism in the food chain dies, it is decomposed by decomposers into simple organic and inorganic compound. These decomposers are bacteria and fungus, and they are called as saprophytes. They are considered to be the final consumers of the food chain, and they are responsible for the return of nutrients from the biotic world to the abiotic world.